dare you!
Ghost of Tsushima was a fantastic game, and I'll say it, anyone who says otherwise is simply a jaded fanboy. Or Phil. Its biggest flaw was that it left many players wanting more, and now we've got it with the director's cut, which adds the Iki Island expansion. But is this another case of too much of a good thing? No. This game is magnificent. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut puts you back in the boots of Jin Sakai, a lone samurai doing everything he can to free his home from the Mongolian invaders. While the main game gets a few new upgrades, particularly on the PS5, the real meat of this game is the Iki Island expansion. After arriving at a small fishing hut, Jin discovers the fisherman tormented by waking nightmares. Upon discovering a letter, he realizes that this is the result of a poison used by the Eagle, a Mongolian chieftain currently based on Iki Island who is attempting to rally the locals to her cause, on threat of madness. Of course, being the stand-up guy he is, Jin decides to free the island of her reign of terror. But not as all as it seems, as Iki just so happens to be the location of a traumatic event in Jin's past. I'm attempting to keep spoilers to a minimum here, but suffice to say the expansion adds quite a bit of backstory to Jin. For those who have already played the game, it paints some events in a different light than they may have been presented in the original game. Both old and new players, however, can appreciate the new layer of complexity these events place on Jin's relationship with his uncle back on Tsushima. In terms of gameplay, not much has changed. Iki Island is not all that different from the mainland, with Mongolian camps to weed out and points of interest to explore. It does, however, add a few new mini-games such as archery challenges and playing Jin's flute for animals. Nearly every set of armor, weapons, and tools get a new upgrade level, and there is a new skill set to unlock. It's pretty niche though, and at 4 nodes deep you'll likely max it out pretty quickly. But overall, the game takes an if it's not broke, don't fix it approach, which, honestly, is a good thing. Legends, Ghost of Tsushima's multiplayer mode, also gets a few upgrades. Unfortunately, there haven't been any additions to the story or raid. However, Survivor mode gets 2 new maps, and each class gets a new option for their tech trees. But Legends has a few new tricks up its sleeve as well. First off, there's the new Rivals mode, which pits 2 teams against each other in a sort of PvPvE. In it, players must acquire Magatama, a resource that, when collected, pushes your team's progress, but can also be used to place curses on your rivals, hindering their progress. The maps themselves shake this up a bit as well, either giving you a large area to patrol or having you progress through the level to reach its end. Legends also raises the item cap from 110 to 120, but getting there isn't so simple. If an item is found or leveled up to 110, the player can now choose to unlock a set of challenges. These can range from breaking down other items, to healing yourself by a certain amount, to completing certain game modes, or even doing damage to or killing enemies in certain ways. Not every challenge is created equal, and some are easier than others. When a challenge is complete, the piece of gear can be increased by 2 levels. Upon reaching level 120, the player can unlock a second perk for that piece of gear. These perks can be unlocked via another new mechanic, Purifying Cursed Gear. Cursed Gear works similarly in that you need to complete a certain challenge in order to purify it. Rather than giving you perks, however, the gear will actually lower your stats and often provide some kind of hindrance to the way you play, such as lighting yourself on fire anytime you burn an enemy, having your life constantly drain when above a certain percentage, or even having your controller scream at you. Yes, you heard that right. Whenever you take damage, EO will taunt you. What? But of course, nothing is perfect, so here's a quick list of a few issues that I've run into. 1. This game can cause a lack of sleep. 2. It may prevent you from working through your gaming backlog. 3. It may cause fights among family and friends over who gets the controller. 4. You may not see your family or friends for several weeks or months. And 5. There's simply just not enough of this. Flaws aside, I highly recommend this expansion for anyone who played the original and is simply left wanting more. For everyone else, yeah, I still recommend it.
弱き木や日に身をさらす岩羽もついにこぞりておだしくなりも